finished the intro and realized I was recording it in like slow-mo, and anyways, so that's the kind of day we're having today. But I'm doing something kind of like fun, I think. I don't know, I think it's fun. I am not sure how many of you guys are like in Canada or the States or whatever, but in Canada, and maybe it's in the States too, I don't know. I was under the impression that the Score is like a Canadian, specifically Ontario, like a sports book kind of vibe, but they also have an app where it's like a pretty good app, honestly. Like, you can track in-game stats and all that stuff. So anyways, with that being said, the Score posted an article just like ranking all 30 NBA teams based off of watchability this season, for the season. So I kind of looked at a couple, but I felt like it would be kind of fun to go through the article and react to the watchability ranking. And yeah, okay, so I just have my laptop here and we're gonna go through the list and we're gonna react to them. So let's just get started. We're gonna start with the bottom 15 and then switch over to the top 15. So starts with Utah Jazz. Yikes. And they basically just say that there's no way to sugarcoat it for Jazz fans, and that another rough year awaits with the team in tank mode. So I don't know if you're a Jazz fan, like that's pretty tough for you. But they've moved on from a number of vets to clear the way for their young players. But obviously, like, you could expect Ace Bailey and Walter Clayton Jr. to go through growing pains as they begin their NBA careers. So maybe Ace Bailey was right in throwing a fit about not wanting to go play in Utah. That is pretty tough. But we have the Sacramento Kings at spot number 29. DeMar DeRozan said it best in September when he called Sacramento's 2024-2025 season a shit show. I fear it's not changing, but anyways, it seems to be a reoccurring theme for the Kings, barring the first year of the Beam era in 2022-2023 that spawned their only playoff appearance in the last 19 seasons. Also, genuinely, just to add my own 2 cents here, I don't know anyone that's a Kings fan, and like, I don't know, I don't feel like I have anyone in my comment section that's a Kings fan either, but if you are a Kings fan, make yourself known, I guess. Next we have 28, Washington Wizards. The good news for the Wizards supporters is that they'll likely improve upon last season's 18 wins. Clock it. Unfortunately, that might mean starting a pair of 34-year-old vets, CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton. Yeah, that is true, but I think Alex Sarr, Bob Carrington, and Keyshawn George all showed promises as rookies, so Cam Whitmore has something to prove after failing to crack the Rockets' rotation. Yeah, so we're basically not rocking with the Wizards either. But anyways, next we have the Brooklyn Nets. For better or worse, you never really know what you'll get throughout a full season with Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr., but with so many moving parts on this team, including 5 2025 first-round picks, even the occasional red-hot shooting performances from Thomas or Porter may not be enough to convince Nets fans to devote their evenings to another rebuilding year. Basically, pick another team. It ranked 26th are the Indiana Pacers, which, like, I'm not saying I'm glad they're ranked here, but I said that in my last video. I said that I think they'll be really boring to watch, and people were like, no, that's not true. So obviously other people feel that way, but they said Tyrese Halliburton's offensive play made the Pacers so enjoyable to watch. They'll miss his clutch shot making and ability to get some others involved this season. Miles Turner, who was the team's heart and soul, joined the Bucks. After a decade in Indiana, the Pacers still have Pascal Siakam's two-way versatility, TJ McConnell's scrappy defense, and the high-flying Obi Toppin, but the viewing experience won't be the same, and that's kind of what I was trying to say. Like, it's just not going to be that good to watch. So yeah, 25th, we have the Boston Celtics. The Celtics management rushed to duck an exorbitant tax bill this summer, and now the team barely resembles the 2024 NBA champs. Obviously, with Jason Tatum still recovering from an Achilles surgery, Boston's seemingly makeshift rotation isn't very exciting. Tatum appears to be on the best case timeline in his recovery, but until he's back, watching the Celtics may be tedious. That's kind of rude. 24th, we have the Portland Trailblazers, which they're saying Portland offers fans a little bit of everything. Drew Holiday is a good defender. Shadon Sharp has uncorked his share of poster slams throughout his first 3 NBA seasons, but until Damian Lillard is back, it may be a little bit of a lackluster performance to watch, which I don't necessarily disagree with. 23rd, we have the Chicago Bulls, and they say the Bulls may have played the 2024-2025 regular season's most entertaining game, where they stunned the Lakers in March after Josh Giddey's half-court heave at the buzzer capped a hectic finish in Chicago. That was a pretty iconic game, I'm not gonna lie, but they're basically just saying that it's gonna take a lot more than what they've exhibited throughout the preseason to restore the Bulls to league pass favorites. 22nd, we have the Miami Heat, whose half-court offense has been slog in recent years, but that could change this season. Norman Powell gives the Heat another shot creator besides Tyler Hero. His ability to shoot off movement and penetrate the lane adds a few wrinkles to the team's attack, and Bam remains one of the league's premier passing big men and interior defenders. So they're 22nd. 21st, we have the Phoenix Suns. While the Suns' big 3 experiment with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal was a flop, any team that loses Durant in the summer just won't generate the same excitement heading into the new season. Devin Booker is still one of the NBA's most thrilling bucket getters, and Jalen Green is good for several explosive posters throughout the year. But watching Dylan Brooks and Grayson Allen get under the skin of opponents is an acquired taste that many people have yet to acquire. 20th spot goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs transformed to the NBA's most lethal scoring unit during Kenny Atkinson's first season in charge. Donovan Mitchell is an elite on-ball scorer, and he's also a threat coming off screens or cutting to the basket. Darius Garland changes pace smoothly on drives and can finish in the lane with floaters. Both guards frequently get into the teeth of the defense and use that leverage to set up Jared Allen and Evan Mobley on lobs. Number 19 goes to the Toronto Raptors. Toronto's watchability factor feels like an enigma. Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes could be multifaceted 1-2 punch at forward that the other teams dream of, but there are still questions about their fit. It should be treated to see. Number 9 pick Colin Murray-Boyles hound opponents defensively, but it could be difficult to watch the rookie work on developing a dependable shot. Regardless of that, I feel like Toronto's watchability has definitely gone up this year compared to last, in my opinion. But 18th, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis alone is worth the price of admission. True, the Greek Freak is a freight train when running the floor in transition or rumbling downhill. His athleticism allows them to cover so much ground defensively, but Giannis continues to add new elements to his game as well. He made the 5th most field goals from mid-range last season and has increasingly served as a point forward, posting a career best 33.9% assist percentage last season. I don't think the Bucks are going to be as fun to watch this year as last year, just like without Brook Lopez, without Damian Lillard, but I'll still be watching, obviously. So 17th, we have the Orlando Magic, where they basically say Desmond Bane will be a godsend for an Orlando team with chronically poor three-point shooting. However, Wagner and Banchero, still just 24 and 22 years old, could drastically change the public perception of the team if they both take that elusive next step into stardom. There's just a lot of built-up Magic mediocrity to expunge. Okay, 16th, we have the Charlotte Hornets, where they're basically asking, can LaMelo Ball finally stay healthy? The Hornets' floor general is an electric shot creator who can make virtually every pass in the book. Third-year forward Brandon Miller was establishing himself as a foundational piece before his sophomore campaign was cut short by a wrist injury. Meanwhile, no lob is out of range with the verticality of Miles Bridges. And yeah, we'll see about the Charlotte Hornets. I think they're always like a really fun team to watch regardless. So now we're moving into the 15 most watchable teams. So 15th going to the Philadelphia 76ers. Whether or not they are as enjoyable to watch depends on if they can stay healthy. On paper, Joel Embiid and Paul George are the perfect vets to complement their electric group of young guards like BJ Edgecombe, but neither Embiid nor George have featured at all in the preseason after off-season knee surgeries, suggesting Philadelphia will again have to rely on stopgap solutions that won't have the entertainment factor of their best possible lineups. Also, I think when Jared McCain comes back, that'll be big for them. But 13th, we have the New Orleans Pelicans, where they say Zion's court vision, power, and athleticism making him an explosive force in transition. Injuries haven't diminished his strength in the half court either. He can still attack one-on-one, off the bounce, outmuscle opponents and players in the posts, and initiate the offense. Trey Murphy III has proven to be more than just a 3-and-D role player, while Herb Jones constantly wreaks havoc on the defensive end. For better or worse, there won't be a dull moment when Jordan Poole's on the floor, and argue with that, I honestly do think I will be watching the Pelicans this year. I didn't watch them really at all last season, but I think I'll tune in for sure. 15th goes to the OKC Thunder, where they basically say that the team chemistry is great and leads to great post-game moments, but they essentially call SGA a free throw merchant, so that's pretty tough. 12th, we have the Memphis Grizzlies, where they say Memphis isn't giving fans many reasons to tune in early on, but the Grizzlies will be a popular league pass team once they have their full complement of players. Ja Morant, he's not afraid to poster anybody or talk smack. That's true. And few centers have had the sweet shooting stroke and shot blocking ability of Jaren Jackson Jr. And we have the Los Angeles Clippers. Loads of eyes will be on this year's Clippers, who have surrounded Leonard with a consortium of high-profile vets who are hunting their first title. James Harden, Bradley Beal, and Chris Paul. Tyrone Lue's squad could be among the NBA's most entertaining, but they could also be an incredibly frustrating aesthetic appearance if their talents fail to mesh properly. That's very true. 10th, we have the Detroit Pistons. There's some real excitement in the Motor City after the Pistons snapped their 6-year playoff drought last season. Cade Cunningham made the leap to an all-NBA talent, punishing opponent guards with the post of his size advantage and developing pick-and-roll chemistry with Jalen Duren. Asar Thompson is just as athletic as his twin brother, Amen. And with the ability to handle the rock and force turnovers, Jaden Ivey boasts an explosive first step, improving three-point stroke. Number 9 goes to the Atlanta Hawks. The two-man game between Trae Young and Porzingis should be enough on its own to make the on-court product more entertaining than last season. The Hawks are also getting back dynamic young forward Jalen Johnson, who was having a breakout year before a torn shoulder ended his season after 36 games. Also, Dyson Daniels stealing every ball in his vicinity. That should be enough entertainment for them. In 8th, we have the New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns are two of the top offensive players at their respective positions. Brunson's an efficient 3-level scorer who thrives in isolation and is dependable wherever the game was on the line. Meanwhile, Towns formed a deadly two-man tandem with Brunson, often rolling to the basket after setting a screen or popping out from beyond the arc. Josh Hart's constant hustle and Anobi's perimeter defense always brings the Garden faithful to their feet. 7th, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. What's not to like about Anthony Edwards essentially guaranteeing a couple vicious posters every year? The high-flying guard hit career best marks in scoring and three-point percentage in 2024-2025, adding another dimension to his already wildly entertaining style. The Wolves also added another exciting young talent, Joan Brigner, a near 7-footer out of France who impressed in his season with the Summer League debut by putting up 7 blocks against the Pelicans. Spot goes to the Golden State Warriors, where Steph Curry has delivered his share of signature movements over 16 seasons with the Warriors. No player has been more prolific from long distance than the 11-time All-Star. It's a sight to behold when Curry's dialed in, as he makes the game look effortless, and Draymond Green is never too far away from the spotlight, with his tenacious defense and tendency to agitate his foes. Jimmy Butler has taken a step back offensively, but he continues to be an impact defender. 5th, we have the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets reloaded over the summer with their roster's overall quality now arguably rivals that of the 2023 championship squad, but the core of what makes Denver so fun to spectate is the Joker, basically also called Jamal Murray. Very heroic with the clutches, and that adds to the Nuggets' aesthetic appeal. 4th, we have the Dallas Mavericks, where Dallas became a point appointment television when they won the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Flag can do all sorts of things on any given night, whether it's guarding multiple positions or protecting the rim. The Duke product is capable of taking over a game with his defense. Flag is just as versatile on the offense, and as a 3-level scorer and a point forward, the Mavs also have no shortage of lob options between Flag, Anthony Davis, and Daniel Gafford. But yeah, regardless, like, you might think that that was a little bit rigged. I do, but anyways, moving on to the third spot, it goes to the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James rubbed some the wrong way when his big decision tease amounted to an ad, but all eyes remain on future Hall of Famer and whether 2025-2026 will be his final NBA season. And then obviously Luka, I think it's gonna just bring some, like, way more eyes, because Luka in the off season, like, he's like really gone through like a transformation, so we'll see what that does for them. Second goes to the Houston Rockets. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. The 37-year-old remains an elite 3-level threat, so enjoy whatever is left of his career. It'll be fun to see how Durant meshes with Sengun, is arguably one of the best passing bigs after the Joker, and Eamon Thompson puts on a one-man show with his outstanding two-way play and athleticism. Most watchable team for this year, going to the San Antonio Spurs, where they basically say Wemby spent 10 days in China this offseason and is now officially listed at 7'5" and has recently brushed aside a fellow giant, Luke Cornett, during a team scrimmage like he was made out of paper. With a couple of NBA seasons under his belt, the French star's ongoing evolution continues to make him one of the most exciting talents to watch in the entire league, and by extension makes the Spurs must-see TV. Really curious to know if you guys agree with San Antonio being at the top of this list. Please let me know in the comments. I'll also leave links to these in the description box below so you can check them out for yourself. Fact check them. I'm not messing around with what they said, but yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys think about San Antonio being ranked first, and also let me know what team you would rank as number one if you were writing up something like this. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in my next video.